a wee story to tell you. It's about Ireland, so it is. I suppose in part it's about myself. I'm Phil Cunningham, and I was born and raised in County Kerry. All my life I lived under the thumb of the British oppressors. It was the usual tale, and one that's been told for centuries now. I joined the United Irishmen, and we were inspired by the great revolutions in America and France, and we rose against the Brits in 1798. Aye, we rose. We rose and we were slaughtered by our thousands, and our rebellion was finally crushed at the Battle of Vinegar Hill. But rather than hang us and make us martyrs, they sent scores of us to the farthest ends of the empire. But with boatloads of Irish prisoners of war, we made sure the bastards didn't have it easy. We mutinied, screaming our battle cry, "Death or liberty! Death or liberty! Death or liberty!" Well, we found neither. We were crushed again. And as for my part, I was sent back to that hellhole on Norfolk Island. But they needed my stonemasonry skills, you see. So after a time, I was asked back to Castle Hill in the government farmland, which was built by Governor King in 1801. Well, there were other Irishmen there. Some of them United Irishmen. So I set my plans in motion to gain our freedom. You know, the most important part of a rebellion is communication and secrecy. We made our plans during Mass, a local Sunday service specifically for Irish Catholics. But just before the rebellion, we were betrayed by one of our own. By informants. One of whom was meant to get word to our comrades in Sydney, Parramatta and Windsor. So with a couple of hundred of my oppressed countrymen, we took government farm, not realizing we were on our own. And when word reached Governor King, he immediately declared martial law for the first time in the history of the colony, and redcoats from Sydney and Parramatta began to march on Castle Hill. And we moved from farm to farm, collecting supplies and firearms, liberating our brother convicts as we went like Spartacus freeing the slaves. The next day, our army gathered at our very own Vinegar Hill, as it would become known. More than 200 of us there to meet less than 100 redcoats and armed civilians, with us holding a third of the armoury of the New South Wales in our hands. And our mistake was in valuing the decency of the British above the leprechaun's fart. Their leader, Major George Johnson, holding a white flag called Parley, which we granted under the conventions of war. And when he asked what we wanted, I replied, "Death or liberty, and a ship to take us home." Well, he and his men immediately drew their pistols and arrested me and my fellows, dragging us back to their lines, calling for the attack. Our men were left without leadership, under the winds. It was more a skirmish than a battle. Some were killed, most fled. And the quartermaster struck me with his sword as I tried to escape. But at least this time, in losing our liberty, we found our death. My almost lifeless body was strung up from a staircase in a public store at Windsor for all to gape at. There are no martyrs at the ends of the earth.